Rafael had always been a skeptical man. He didn't believe in fate, signs, or anything that couldn't be explained rationally. To him, life was simple. You make choices, live with the consequences, and move on. But an inexplicable event was about to change everything. It was an ordinary Tuesday, and Rafael was at work when he began to feel a strange sense of unease. Something was off, but he couldn't pinpoint what it was. That night, the feeling intensified. He went home, had dinner with his wife, Marina, and their 2 children, Lucas and Clara, and tried to ignore the discomfort. Tired, he went to bed earlier than usual, hoping a good night's sleep would calm his mind. But instead of rest, Rafael was confronted with something far beyond anything he had ever experienced. A dream, so vivid and real that it felt more like an experience than a mere dream. In the dream, Rafael was driving his family down a dark, winding road. Everything seemed normal at first, but as they progressed, he noticed something strange. In the distance, a large, ancient bridge emerged, shrouded in fog. There was a heavy feeling in the air, almost suffocating. As they approached the bridge, Rafael noticed that the warning signs were off, and the road looked dangerous. Despite the fog, he could see deep cracks in the asphalt, as if the bridge were on the verge of collapse. He tried to stop the car, but it wouldn't respond. The car continued to move forward. His family remained calm, oblivious to the impending danger. Rafael screamed, but his words wouldn't come out. It was as if he were trapped in a bubble of silence, powerless to prevent what he knew was about to happen. Suddenly, the bridge gave way. The ground collapsed beneath the car and they fell. Rafael felt his body float in the air as the car plummeted towards the dark, cold water below. The impact was brutal, and the sound of twisting metal and water flooding the vehicle echoed in his mind. He woke up with a muffled scream, cold sweat covering him and his heart racing. The room was dark. He could hear Marina's soft breathing beside him, sleeping deeply. His children were also in the next room, safe in their beds. Everything was fine, but the feeling that the dream was more than just a dream lingered. Something was wrong, and he knew it deep down. In the following days, Rafael couldn't stop thinking. He couldn't stop thinking about the bridge and the accident. He had never believed in prophetic dreams, but something about this one felt more than just a simple manifestation of the subconscious. Every time he closed his eyes, he relived that moment of helplessness, seeing his family in danger. About a week later, Rafael was invited to visit his in-laws in another city. They planned to drive on Saturday, and the route would take them along an old, little-used road. While discussing the trip with Marina, he felt a chill run down his spine. Marina casually mentioned that the route included an old bridge. The bridge. That bridge from the dream. "What's wrong?" Marina asked, noticing the look of panic on his face. Rafael didn't know how to explain, but he knew he couldn't ignore that feeling. He tried to rationalize to himself that it was just a stupid dream, but something inside him insisted he take it seriously. He fell silent for a moment, but then made a decision. "I know this will sound crazy," he began hesitantly, "but I had a dream, and in that dream, something very bad happened when we crossed a bridge. I don't know if it was this bridge, but I have a very bad feeling about this trip." Marina frowned. Rafael never talked about these things, and seeing him so disturbed made her hesitate. Although she was as skeptical as he was, Rafael's tone made her reconsider. There was something in his eyes that convinced her not to underestimate what he was feeling. "If you're feeling this strongly, maybe we should reconsider." They decided to change the route and avoid the bridge, even if it meant a longer trip. Rafael was still uncertain about the decision, but at least he felt he had done something to protect his family. On Saturday, they set off for his in-laws' house, avoiding the old road and the bridge Rafael had dreamed about. The trip was smooth, and Rafael began to feel a bit foolish for giving so much importance to a dream. Maybe he was just being paranoid. But in the middle of the journey, while they stopped at a gas station for a break, Rafael received a message on his phone. It was from a friend who lived in the same city as Rafael's in-laws. "Are you seeing the news? The bridge on the old road collapsed early this morning. Some people fell with their cars into the river. They're saying it was a tragedy." Rafael's blood ran cold. He was speechless, showing the message to Marina, who was equally shocked. The dream, which had seemed like a simple manifestation. It had been a warning. Rafael saved his family by trusting in something he had never considered real. A vision, a prophetic dream. In that moment, Rafael realized that life was much more than rational choices and logical explanations. Sometimes fate manifested in inexplicable ways, and listening to those signs could mean the difference. The difference between life and death. The dream Rafael had was not just a coincidence. It was a warning that came from something greater, something he would never fully understand. But he knew that on that day he had made the right choice. The bridge collapsed, but his family was safe.